IJ, an 18-year-old, was lying on my bed, my day filled with the mundane until the moment she walked into view. Carolina, the 40-year-old Colombian beauty next door, with her captivating curves and a smile that could make any day seem brighter. Today was no different, but it quickly turned into the highlight of my week. Hey guys, before we dive into my side of the story, just a heads up, Carolina shared her version too. You can find the link in the description. Trust me, it's worth it. That day, she pulled into her driveway, her arms laden with grocery bags, juggling them like a pro. I watched, my interest peaked as she fumbled for her keys, her movements graceful even in frustration. She set one bag down, her purse open, searching with a focus that made me lean closer to my window. When she couldn't find her keys, I saw the irritation flash across her face, her lips moving in silent curses. She stepped back, her body outlined by the afternoon sun, and I couldn't look away. Her dress hugged her in all the right places, emphasizing her Colombian heritage. She set the bags down on the porch and walked to the back of her house, her heels clicking against the pavement. I shifted my position to get a better view, and sure enough, she was checking the pet door at the back entrance. A smile crept across my lips. She won't fit through that, I thought, almost laughing at the idea. Her figure was far too generous for such a small space. I couldn't take my eyes off her. For a moment, she crouched down to pet her golden retriever, who was wagging his tail like crazy. Lucky dog, I muttered under my breath, my cheeks burning as I imagined her hands brushing over me instead. But the real show began when she decided to follow Max through the pet door. I watched, heart racing, as she crouched down and gave me a great view. She pushed the bags first and then tried to follow her, and her dress rode up a little. It took my breath away. That was definitely the best part of my day. She chuckled at her own situation. I was happy with the show. Realizing the pet door was too small, she looked around and her eyes landed on the basement window. I watched her. She walked over, hips swaying, her determination clear. This was more than just watching a neighbor. It was like watching art in motion, and I was the only spectator of this private show. I grabbed my cell phone and started recording. She crouched in front of the window, carefully inspecting it before kneeling on all fours. She could barely breathe. The dress clung to her like a second skin, and as she leaned forward, my heart began to beat harder by the second, so loud I could hear it. Should I go there? The thought made me jump, and I blushed. Part of me wanted to go closer, watch from a better angle, maybe even offer to help. But another part of me knew how risky it would be. I stood rooted to the spot, watching as she struggled with the window. Suddenly, I saw that she was in trouble. She was trapped in the window, half her body inside and the other half exposed. I didn't know what to do. She probably needed help, but if I went there, she might think I was spying on her. I was inexplicably nervous. I decided to go out into the yard, but not to help her, but to get a better recording. When I left my house, I saw her dog approaching her. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, so I decided to sneak into her yard. It was prime material. As I got closer, I stepped on a dry leaf, turning pale as I swore she heard me, but I kept recording. I couldn't explain what I felt as I watched this scene. She was trying to free herself. I've seen all kinds of things on the internet, but this was pure gold, I thought. The dog finished what he was doing, and then I stepped on another dead leaf. This time, I was sure he heard me. I walked over and said, "Mrs. Caroline, are you okay?" Before I helped her, I took some amazing photos with my phone. I confess that I can be quite silly sometimes, especially when talking to women, and I couldn't help but speak in a teasing tone, especially in this situation that I found funny and exciting in a whole new way. Before I helped her, we exchanged a few words, and I mistakenly mentioned something about my phone because I don't think before I speak. I got to work helping her out of the window, and I have to admit that while I was doing so, I touched something, but she didn't seem to mind. She managed to get out, got her stuff in order, and I climbed through the window to open the back door for her. As I climbed through the window, she gave me a playful slap, smiling. I went into the basement and then opened the back door. I helped her bring her groceries inside, and she interrogated me about the phone and the awkward moment that had passed. I got a bit nervous, but I also know how to act. I apologized, playing the part of someone shy and withdrawn. I handed her my phone to delete the video, acting like a fool, though I'm not one. Before helping her, I had made a copy. She only deleted one video. I told her she owed me big time. She gave me a kiss on the cheek and said, "I'll pay you back someday." I left her house with my heart racing. Not only did I have the video recorded, but she was now in my debt, and I intended to collect. Okay guys, so here's my side of the story. Make sure to watch this video first, and then head over to the description to check out Carolina's version. It's hilarious to see how things look from her perspective,